Hi everyone, how's it going? So I'm probably going to keep this short today. I'm just giving you guys an update on what's going on with me with regards to my attacks. I'm getting a lot of attacks in the leg, like right through my thigh. It feels like something is going through my thigh. Sometimes I get pains like that. Pains in the head, not so much. I most of the time I get attacked in the chest, which is why I'm coughing so often, and why I'm getting why I'm getting chest pain and stuff like that so often is because I'm being attacked in the chest more than anything else at the moment. The way the electronic weapons work is that they will focus on specific parts of the body to see what damage can be done without much detection, to see if there can be any effects on the rest of my body. I did have a cough for a few weeks straight because of the weapons that were being fired on my chest. They were definitely being fired on my heart, so that's something that I have to keep an eye on, because if I keep coughing like this and I keep having clear mucus, it's not just a sign of an infection, it can also be a sign of heart issues. Another reason why I have to keep an eye on that is because it's not every time that my gang stalkers are unsuccessful in waking me up. What happens is that they know I'm sleeping, so what they'll do is they'll be as loud as possible knowing that I'm sleeping. And what that does, for people who don't understand how dangerous that is, in order to wake you up naturally, this is naturally, mind you, in order to wake you up naturally, it takes a massive amount of cortisol to wake you up. Now, I'm going to break down the science. Let me put you on game. I'm going to break down the science of this shit. When it comes to men need about 7 to 8 hours sleep a day in order to function. Women need about 9 to 10 hours. Now, stay with me. I'm going somewhere with this. Imagine you're a woman and a man gets up earlier than you, and in a bid to get you up, just to get you up so that he has company, he'll make a whole bunch of fucking noise. When a man does this, he's not doing it by accident. He's not doing it like, don't buy it. Any man who gets up and starts banging around knowing that you're sleeping, either he wants company or he wants to try to stress you out and pick a fight deliberately. Okay? Just be fucking quiet. It's not hard. So he's banging around and waking you up as a woman in your bed. Now, knowing already that you need cortisol, like a high amount of cortisol, to get up in the first place, now you've got even more cortisol piling high on top of that by all the noise pollution that's going on while this man is banging around the kitchen. For a lot of TIs, both masculine and feminine, both male and female, this is the reality that they deal with a lot of the time. So you're in your bed sleeping at certain hours. If you're sleeping during the day, then your neighbors are not obligated to be quiet. But there's a difference between being unthinkably loud and somebody being directly loud on purpose to try to frighten you. That's another thing that elevates your cortisol levels and elevates your heart rate. Frightening you, waking you up before you're ready to wake up, elevating your cortisol. All of these things are to elevate your cortisol, on top of having weapons fired on your heart and on your chest. All that is attempted murder. All that is attempted murder. So these people up here are getting upset because I'm not getting frightened, and I'm not getting, I'm not getting upset. Getting upset and getting frightened elevates your heart levels. It elevates your cortisol. Being woken up when you're sleeping elevates your cortisol beyond the normal levels. And what that contributes to is not only a rapid heart rate. What it does is it allows the people firing electronic weapons to fire weapons on your heart so that it looks like it's an accident. Another thing that your heart rate is surprisingly active in is when you're on the toilet. That's when, that's why a lot of people find that there are certain men who die on the toilet. If they don't have a very good diet, and my diet is not great, I have to admit that. If they don't have a very good diet, it can take a lot of energy from your body to expel the waste from your body. So that's another way in which you can have electronic weapons fired on you, is if you're sitting on the toilet, because already your heart rate is elevated to try to get the waste out of your body if you're constipated. So coming back to the original point of when I was sleeping, 9 times out of 10, when I'm sleeping, loud noises are not just engineered to get a rise out of me. It's also engineered to hasten my murder, essentially, to hasten it. Do you understand what I mean? So when I say that the gang stalkers are trying to kill us and trying to make it look like a natural thing, that's exactly what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what noise pollution does. If somebody's sleeping and you know it takes cortisol to wake them up, why the fuck are you trying to frighten them and make loud noises on top of that deliberately? Oh, yo, because you want them scared or you want them upset. No, you're trying to fucking kill them. Why would you need to continue to do that repeatedly? There is only one reason why you would continue to do things like that. If you get somebody upset and they get upset and you're still not satisfied, that means you're trying to end their fucking life. Because why else would you need to do that? It doesn't make any sense. I've always said that. I'm going to go on a rant here. But I've always said that. Ever since I was young, I was like, you wanted me upset, I'm upset. Like, what could you possibly want other than to kill me through my nervous system and through my heart rate? What other reason could you have to keep going? Like, why? And better yet, why do you want to try and kill somebody just because they don't like you? That's why I tried to put together, why did I feel all those feelings when I was younger? Why did I have all those feelings towards the people who were bullying me? And it hit me. Why do you continue to do it knowing it upsets me and knowing it gets my heart rate up? Why are you continuing to do this? The only reason I can think of is because you're trying to kill the person. And you don't want to admit that. You don't want to acknowledge that because you don't like what it says about you. You don't like what it says about you when you will kill someone for trying to annoy you, or you will want to kill someone for annoying you. Because what I have to admit, when I was talking to Brighton and Hove into independent mediation services, and I'll get to that in a minute. When I was talking to them about that, I said that these people here, they've gotten me upset. They've had me crying. They called me the crying N-word. N-word is not what they said. You get what I mean? They've upset me. They've made me cry and made fun of me about it. They've already upset me. They've already made me angry. They've already made me cry. They've already had me threatening people. They've already had everything that they wanted. I even tried to section myself when they wouldn't do it. I've even tried to section myself. So all of these things have been happening. That's why, for me, attempted murder is the only explanation. Because why do you keep doing that? You've already gotten what you wanted. You got it 3 years ago. Why are we still doing this? Why are we still doing this? If it's not attempted murder, why is it still happening? That's why I say that, bullying, if you're a bully, you're not human. You're not human, because why the fuck are you still doing it? You've seen that you upset the person. Why are you still doing it? There's no humanity in you. Why do you keep doing that shit? And this is coming from somebody who has bullied before. And when I was bullying the other person, truth be told, I wasn't even doing it so that they could be upset or anything like that, because I didn't care whether they were upset or not. I just said a couple of words and left it. That's it. I wasn't the type of bully that was constantly obsessed with targeting that one, but I've never been that way. So that's why I have to ask, if you are that way as a bully, who the fuck are you? Who do you think you are to think that you deserve life when you do that to someone else? Who the fuck do you think you are to deserve to do that to somebody else? What makes you more deserving of life than the person you're bullying? Do you understand what I mean? While you're killing them, trying to kill them off through their nervous system and through their cortisol and through giving them fucking heart attacks. What makes you so special? What makes you so special? You know, and as a targeted individual, that's the least of your problems. And yet, if we were to fucking disregard everything else, the financial abuse, the fucking, you know, the honey traps and all that TIs go through, the fucking vice trafficking that some TIs go through, if we were to like uncover all of that and just get rid of all of that, just the noise pollution alone, the sleep deprivation alone, the constant agitation and aggravation alone can dramatically cut somebody's lifespan. You could kill a person just with those three things. And especially if there's no end to that behavior. So it's like, what are you trying to do? And if you are trying to kill a person, why don't you just come out and fucking say it? So that people can have adequate defense against you, unless you're a fucking coward. Because with me, when it comes to my gang stalkers, there's only one thing I want. I want the motherfucking shit to end. And I don't want it to just to end for me. I want it to end for everybody who's ever been a victim to this program. I want it to end for all of us. That's why I don't let the shit drop. And if it means damaging the nervous system of the perps that are trying to fucking kill me, so be it. If it means damaging their nervous system by exposing them and by refusing to kowtow to their emotional whims, then so be it. That's what I mean. What are you looking for? So when I say that perps are murderers, I'm not making that shit up. Science backs up everything that I'm fucking saying. Niels Meltzer talked about cyber torture. He backs all that shit up. So that's what's been happening to me. Noise pollution, a lot of noise pollution when I'm trying to sleep. And, you know, on top of that, electronic weapons being fired on my chest. There's been attempts on my life. There's been attempts on my life. There have been people dying in their 40s and 50s, even when their diet is better than mine, even when their lifestyles are better than mine. How do you think that's happening? Sorry. There are people dying even when their lifestyles are better than mine. How do you think that's going on? How do you think that's happening? So, with that in mind, actually, somebody put me on, one of my relatives put me on to crystals for EMF protection. Now, there are some of you TIs out there that are way ahead of that when it comes to EMF protection. You've got your Faraday cages on deck. You got your magnetic stuff on deck. Like, you got all that stuff on deck. But like, I'm just learning about this stuff, and I've been a gang stalking victim for almost 2 decades. Shame. Okay. There are crystals that do protect against EMF frequencies. One of them is black tourmaline. I have to admit, I do love me some black tourmaline. Like, just on the visuals alone. Black tourmaline is a protective stone. Pyrite is another one. Pyrite is called fool's gold, but it doesn't just protect you against dangerous EMF frequencies. It also boosts self-confidence and willpower. That's another great crystal to have. Another crystal to have is hematite. That's another, it's not black, but it's kind of like a silvery, I'll show you now. It's kind of like a silvery kind of crystal. That's pyrite. So hang on, let me show you the pyrite first. So the pyrite is kind of like a gold color. They call it fool's gold because it looks like gold, but it's not. And then you've got like hematite. It's kind of a silvery black sort of, when it's polished anyway, that's what it looks like. And then you've got shungite. Now shungite is the one that I was put onto today. Shungite is one that protects you against electromagnetic frequencies. So those are some crystals that I think we should all get to protect us against EMF. What's going on with my arm? That's what I think we should all get to protect ourselves from electromagnetic frequencies. We should all get that, if I'm really honest about it. But those crystals can help. I'm gonna leave the link of this website right here on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm gonna leave a link to this so that you guys can look at it for yourselves. That was just one website I found, by the way. There are other websites out there. So I'm gonna leave that where it is for the crystals for the time being. I'm gonna leave the link. Yeah, speaking of Brighton and Hove Independent Mediation Services, of course they want to waste my time by bringing me in there on a one-on-one basis so that they can gaslight me about my mental health and gaslight me about the medications I'm on and gaslight me about this, that, and the third, so that perps can enter my house and do what they need to do whatever the fuck it is they're doing, probably blocking the toilet or some shit. So Brighton and Hove Independent Mediation Services got back to me and they said that, like, of course, that the neighbors do not want to engage in mediation services. You know why they're not engaging in mediation services? It's because if they were going to sit there in front of me and actually have to look me in the face, they would have to confess to everything that they're fucking doing. They'd have to confess to all of it. They would incriminate themselves. So they're not going to do it. And also, I happen to have a suspicion that the landlords are in it with them. If the landlords are not in it with the neighbours that are doing this to me, then they're certainly turning a blind eye while the neighbours are doing what they're doing. The reason why the family are not engaging is because they know they would have to confess to everything they're doing, up to and including all the noise pollution that I've been talking about, all of which has been recent. And this is the thing, right? This is why I say that their intention is murder and that the perp intention is murder. Is because they're looking for something that they already have. They're looking for me to have suicidal ideations so that I could be sectioned. They're looking for me to be threatening on camera so that they can take it to the police. They're looking for me to be violent or suicidal in some way so that they can say I'm a danger to myself and to other people. But the thing is, this has already been done and they've already had all that. And the only thing that's happened is that the police have backed the fuck off because they don't want any smoke. Because they know it's the family responsible for antagonizing me. But what they were hoping for was that I would start off on the deep end first so that they could come back round and say that I was around harassing them. Like just trying to do a reverse Uno. That was never going to work. It was never going to work. It was never going to work. So, you know, they're trying to kid themselves that what they wanted was evidence so that they could, like, they're kidding themselves. They wanted evidence so that they could take it to the mediation services and that would give the, you know, leave a specter of doubt for them to deny everything that they were doing to me. But of course, they can't do that. They can't deny everything that they're doing to me. So they just have to not show up. But I knew that was going to happen. So, you know, I'm not even mad about it. I knew this was going to happen. It's the same. It's the same. It's like it's the same thing over and over. Do you know what I mean? And I've been through God knows how many meetings before with regards to perps, because the way it works is that the people involved in gang stalking, when it comes to a head and they know they're not going to get anywhere with bullying me, and they know I'm going to document everything, and they know I'm going to record everything, what they tend to do from there is they tend to arrange meetings, and what they will do during a meeting is that they'll have more than one person there. So if they need to lie about what took place, this is why I used to record everything, because what the purpose serves in having more than one person there is that if they say something to gaslight me and I respond in an aggressive fashion, then they've got another witness there to say that I was aggressive and not to say the fact that I was gaslit. That's why if you're a TI and they have multiple people there to see you, one, it's to intimidate you, and two, it's to provide false witness just in case you want to pop off, and just in case you pop off because you're being gang stalked. And the way in which I've stopped these things from happening is, one, I've recorded situations where this is happening. Two, I've stuck to the facts. Like, even with gang stalking, I've stuck to the facts. So if they turn around and say to me, well, how are you feeling about this? And I talk about gang stalking and they say that it's not real, I will say, okay, how much do you know about the haze effect? How much do you know about Havana syndrome? Do you know anything about the weaponized frequencies that are used for our smartphone technology? Do you know about Dragonfire? Do you know about long-range acoustic devices? Do you know about Ravenclaw? So I will put facts that are already out there, and I will field it back to them. I stay calm, I stick to the facts, and I field questions back to them. If you don't know about any of those things, you are not in a fit position to judge my mental state. If you haven't even done the research on what I'm talking about, you're not in any fit state. Get the fuck out my face. Thank you. So the first thing is to intimidate you when they bring multiple people in a meeting with you. The second thing is to provide false witness in case I lose my temper. They can easily turn around and say, well, she lost her temper, or she was delusional, and this, that, and the third. And it was just like that doctor who said that I was delusional in my medical records. I've got him fucking recorded. Everything that I said was fucking recorded. Everything that I said was recorded. All the facts that I put down were recorded. He talked in vagaries only because he knows that's the thing that works in trying to make someone look crazy. But I'm getting away from the point. The point I was making was, why do they get multiple people in there? Intimidation, falsifying witnesses. And the third thing, I don't think there is a third thing. But yeah, they prefer you to be in their office rather than in your own domain. Because if you're in their domain rather than your own, then in their mind, it prevents you from recording what they're doing. So they want to gaslight you and waste your time and try to bury the evidence of what they're actually doing and what they're actually a part of in the process. Now, I told BHIMS that I would come down to see them, but I might just change my mind. I might just change my mind because I have a feeling that I already know how this is going to go. It's going to come back to my mental health. It's going to come back to, oh, how are you doing? It's going to come back to, basically, you're hallucinating all this because your granddad's dead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was so blunt. I'm sorry. But that's, I'm sorry. But you know that's what they're going to do, right? Like, if I go down to BIMS, right, they're going to say, you're just hallucinating gang stalking because your mum and granddad are dead. Or you're overreacting to what these people trying to kill you because your mum and granddad are dead. And I'm like, bro. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to try and spin that angle. They are going to try and spin that angle. Because if they're not doing if nothing's being done about the harassment, Because bear in mind, the police have referred me and they've basically said that there's no evidence for anything that I'm saying. There's evidence for almost everything that I'm fucking saying. I've got it recorded. But what they do is, police especially, because I asked police to refer me to BIMS, they will go down the mental health route. Because that's what they always do. They will always turn around and say, oh, wait, you know, how are you feeling? This, that, and that. I don't want to talk about my feelings. I want to stop people to stop attempting to kill me for kicks. That's what the fuck I want. That's what the fuck I want. I want people to stop trying to kill me through my... No, not even trying to kill me. I want people to stop murdering me through my nervous system. And I want people to stop murdering me through my heart rate and my cortisol levels. And I want people to stop murdering me through electronic weaponry. That's what I would like to happen. They have murdered me already. I would like it to stop at this point before my lifespan gets cut any shorter by the fuckery. I don't want to end up like my mum, because that's what they did to my mum. They killed her through her nervous system. Repeatedly murdered her, and on top of murdering her through her nervous system, what happened to her with regards to all the fluid in her lungs, that was basically manslaughter. And I only just found that out. A couple of weeks ago through the care of someone else. What happened to her, what happened to my mother, was manslaughter. Because why has she got fluid in her lungs and you're not draining the fluid? I didn't even know any of this. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the fuck, like, if I knew. But I would like people to stop murdering me. That's what I would like to happen. But that's not going to happen. So there's nothing anyone can say to me, and there's nothing anyone can do to change my mind about what's going on. If you're going to murder me, I'm going to give you fucking hell. I'm going to give you fucking hell so badly that even if I die, it doesn't help you. That's how bad I'm going to make this situation. Because ain't no way in hell should MI5, MI6 get away with this shit, get away with doing this to their own citizens. No way in hell should any government get away with doing this to any citizens at all. I'm gonna make it fucking hurt. I'm gonna make that shit hurt. And I've said that before. If you're going to kill me, I'm gonna make sure it's the worst thing you ever did. And all the sectioning in the world is not gonna help you. Or the you know, the gaslighting and the time wasting, it's not going to help you. And that's not a threat. That's not a threat. I'm going to make it so fucking bad that after I die, instead of you having peace, all bets are the fuck off. I'm telling you right the fuck now. The second I leave this plane because I've been murdered by the gangstalkers, that's when all hell's going to break fucking loose. I will make sure of it. Because what the fuck are people doing trying to kill me because they can't get attention? I'm not having it. I'm not having it. They want their threat. There it is. There it is. There it is. Me leaving this planet, it's not going to save anybody. Not going to save anybody. Should have just done what I asked him to do. Knock off the fucking murder. Simple. So, I think that's it for now. Yeah, that's it for me from now. From me for now. But if you are a targeted... Hang on a second. No. What have I forgotten? Because I've talked about all of that. Talked about BIMs. Oh yeah, the toilet. Yeah, the toilet's been blocked, and it occurred to me that it might not be my fault entirely. I think it could also be that perps have come in and been blocking the toilet. Because I have to admit, I've been really worried. But then I think perps have been coming in and blocking the toilet as well. But this is the thing. When the toilet's blocked in my flat, it causes excess fluid in my shower, in my sinks and everything. And what happens is that excess fluid, it goes into the void. And it's not just excess fluid, it's also any stuff left over that hasn't properly been flushed. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when I'm affected, the way these buildings work is that if I'm affected, then it also affects businesses as well. So whoever's coming in and blocking my toilet on top of everything else, because again, I don't think it's solely my fault. I don't think it's solely my fault. I think I'm partially responsible, but I don't think it's solely my fault. If there are people who are coming in and blocking the shit, they're also creating problems for businesses as well, because they're the ones who have to put up with everything. And these people have got livelihoods, they've got families, they've got people to pay for. So whenever the gang stalkers are messing with me, they're messing with livelihoods as well. Like, this is exactly what I say when I say karma bites you in the ass. Because when people mess with my plumbing, it's not just me that's affected. It's not just me that's affected when my plumbing's affected. But again, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say people who are attacking me and people who are doing shit to me, they don't care about how it affects everyone else. They don't care. As long as they get to hurt someone. They don't care about hurting themselves or hurting the community. They don't give a fuck. I care more than them. I don't even like any of these people. And I care more about their livelihoods than a lot of the perps do. In fact, some of these people are perps. And they really thought they'd be insulated in fucking with me like this. I'm like, ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I haven't been using my shower. I have been bathing though, thank God. But yeah, somebody's coming over tomorrow to fix it, and then I can properly find out exactly what the issue is. Hopefully, fingers crossed, can find out what the real issue is. Because I thought it was me, but then the plumber said, nah, it's probably not. Probably not. Because somebody else, another handyman, said that sometimes flow comes from upstairs and comes down into the downstairs toilet. Now, I'm not a plumber, so I'm not entirely sure how that happens. But it's been explained to me that that's what happens as well. So, might not be entirely me. And plus, again, I don't know what the perps are doing when I'm not here. They might be blocking up the toilet as well. And again, if they have, then, you know, and it's likely that they might have done. If they have, then it doesn't just affect me. It affects several other businesses. Potentially. It definitely affects the garage downstairs, because there's a void that is right next door to it. I'm just saying. These landlords need to fix their piping. Especially if they're going to increase the rent. They need to fix their piping. And they still haven't answered the question about how the fucking door frame ended up damaged. Because it's not me that fucking did it. It's not me that fucking did it. And seeing as the door is loose, I'm just saying, still ain't got an answer for me. Not looking good. It's not looking good for anybody. So yeah, so I think that's it. It's not it, is it? I think that's it for now. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings. Bye bye, my darlings.